no audio, no audio, no audio. A number of people are telling me no audio. All right. So a number of people are saying to me, hey, Cam, no audio, no audio. So let me check. So, right. So tell me, are you hearing me now? Because I just, all right. Yeah, a number of people called me. So I realized once you see quite a number of people calling, then it means, well, the radio is okay. So the radio is okay. But the good. So we should be on now. It should be okay. So I checked the settings, right? So I want to encourage you to share the live. In 2026, you need to do more sharing of the live, right? Because if you want people to get the message, if you want the message to reach people, you need to share the program. We have seen in 2025, the start was great, the middle was great, but then coming to the end, you saw less people sharing the program. And if you understand how people listen programs, is by you sharing it on your page. All right. So I want to encourage you to share the program. Yes, it's all good for you to be listening to the program, viewing the program, following the program on Facebook, following the program on YouTube. But if you share it, then more people will hear it. More people will listen in and know what we are discussing. So I want to encourage you. You may have 10 friends, you may have 50 friends, you may have 100 friends. But if you share the program on your page, more people will discover the program. Do not be selfish in 2026, where it's just you alone listening in and you alone viewing. Share it. That's important. So, as I was saying, and we had a little audio issue there, I wish you all the best in 2026. Health, good health, peace, happiness, prosperity, and most importantly, have fun. I go to plenty funerals, right? And I can tell you, after a month or two or three, or maybe a couple days, you don't hear about anybody. You don't hear about that person who passed, what they used to do, what they loved doing, and what they were involved in, and that kind of thing. It's like, yes, they ask you, how old are you? And you say, I'm 30, I'm 40, I'm 50, I'm 60 and 70, and you're proud of that. But have you really lived during that period of time? Yes, you're alive, but live, have fun, travel the world, meet new people, enjoy new things, discover new things, pursue new things. All right. That is important because there are a lot of people who hear and they're not enjoying life. So 2026, I want you to enjoy life and be happy always. You don't need plenty people around you. You don't need plenty friends, but you just need genuine people around you. All right? That's important. Folks, before we lost the audio, I was saying you have to be very careful in 2026. We're living in the age of artificial intelligence, AI, where your voice can be taken and converted into anything or you saying anything, where your image can be used to make people believe that you're somewhere else or doing something that people may not know you to be doing, but will be surprised. Uh, they can take photos, and I mean, it is so advanced. You don't need to go and fight up to do a letter or some speech or some research or anything of that sort. You just enter information, and there are different, Chat GPT, DeepSync, a whole pile of them. Even Google and all the different search engines they're using AI technology. So it's a year for you to be more on your P's and Q's and find out more stuff, research more stuff, seek information. Do not just run with things, grab things and run with it. All right? Do not remain focused. That is key. And find out information. You may hear, you may see things online. Do not just run with it like that. Don't. I want to encourage you. And not only that, there will be people who on different programs regionally, and I'm seeing the trend, who will seek to influence domestic politics. So they're talk show hosts and hostesses in other countries, right? With an agenda. And maybe they were very successful with maybe what, St. Vincent or other parts, right? And they think they can do it in every other island to influence the politics. So you have to be very careful with that. And they are on programs, talk show programs. People view them, people follow them. You have to be very careful with that in 2026. Also, influencers. Influencers, in fact, I saw only recently, there's an individual who there's a lot of talk that he will be running in a particular constituency. And there are a group of people around him who, some of them cannot even string 2 sentences. But if you look on their page on Facebook and Instagram, you see them endorsing certain things, right? Or, 3 paragraphs talking about the good things that this individual is doing around this time. And you wonder, and like all of them doing it. So you have to be very, very careful during this time, 2026 into 2027. Stupid season could start anytime. And when I say stupid season, election and all kinds of stuff will be flying all around the place. So you have to understand those things. And I want to urge the NDC supporters to be very careful with how you grab certain things and run with it on social media and other places. Be very, very careful. If you love your party, if you love your prime minister, if you love your minister or your MP, you need to seek to get the facts, correct information first. Because many a times the people who spread the false news are people who should know better, people who are in the close circle, all right? And they come to you, I hear that. You heard that? You heard this? And then they go to another person, they say, I heard that, and I saw that. And then by the time they check, they already spread the thing to 80 people. And those 80 people will spread it to another 500 or 1,000 or 2,000. So you have to be very careful. Sometimes silence is gold and speech is silver. So sometimes better you not say anything, or you wait for more information to come out than you run with what you see on social media. And a lot of people are not knowledgeable enough to navigate on social media. They don't understand it. They see stuff and they believe it's facts. They believe it's true. And they run with it. But we are living in the age of artificial intelligence, where they can take your face, your image, they can take your everything, right? Your audio, and turn it into all kinds of stuff. be very, very careful. All right? That's important. And folks, I see a post on my page on the program itself where some people believe that they can use this platform to promote other platforms. But mind you, if someone is on my platform, they will not go on GBN or WeFM or another platform and say, well, Kem Jones is interviewing this person at this time. Folks, I am saying to you, this platform is the dynamic hour. All right? So in going forward, I want to urge you, because there are some people who believe they can use this platform to promote other programs. All right? This program is the dynamic hour. The nightly program is the hub. And then going forward, the minute I realize you're promoting other platform and who's going to be there and who's going to be there, I will take action accordingly. All right? Because I don't see people on the other platforms promoting this station and this program. Nope. What I do on this program, I am promoting government, I'm promoting the NDC, and I'm pushing that agenda. But do not for one moment believe you can use this platform to promote other stations. All right? And I see somebody doing it here. And if you do not stop, what I will do, I will take action. I will block you from the program. All right? I will block you from this platform. GBN, they don't promote my program. They don't. So why do you then promote GBN on my program? Don't do it. All right? And other programs too. This program is the dynamic hour. And that's what it is. Good? There are other programs, right, where interviews are done on other programs and they don't promote. When I do interviews on this program, they don't promote it. You don't see it on the other programs promoting it. No. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right? Very important. So this year is a very important year for the politics of this country. The politics. So while government will do great things and they will get pushbacks from the opposition. In fact, this morning I listened to another program and I heard Emlyn Pay on that program. And she was talking about the road and the work that is being done, to upgrade and better the water distribution system in the country. And she was like, okay, we're not against the project, but we're concerned about the road condition. And, maybe they could have done it differently and for the passengers and the bus drivers and this and then I sat back and I said, but wait, this is the same NNP who lost this very project because they never started it when they were supposed to start it. They actually lost this Southern Water water improvement project or whatever they call it, water access or whatever they call it, right? This Southern water, whatever the project name is. They lost that project and they lost the development that's supposed to happen on the western side with the road development. They lost that and it was grant aid. It was money given by the United Kingdom to Grenada for, the people. You don't have to pay it back. It's not a loan, it's a grant. And when the NDC came into power, they had to beg, literally go down on their knees and beg to get back this Southern Water improvement or enhancement project. Right? They had to literally beg for it. And you had Emlyn Pay on that particular program this morning. And folks, again, I tell you, you have to be smart in this year. Look at who was interviewed first on that program. Do you know the owner of that radio station? So sometimes some people, they hype and they hop and they talk, but you don't know the background. You don't have additional information. You listen stuff and you don't understand the agenda of radio stations. Some radio stations, they come with an agenda. Look at the first person who was interviewed this morning on that station. Why? This is not by accident. No, it was not by accident. And then the host says, well, everybody and anybody is welcome to be interviewed and to come on the program. That's joke. That's talk. That's a good way to just cover it up. All right? And then you hear on this very said station all the ads from Lotto, all the ads from GTA, all the ads from Solid Waste, all the ads from Grenlec, all the ads from all those statutory bodies on that very station. But who don't know. But I know where that station stands. They're not impartial. They're not independent. No. Nope. They're pushing an agenda. In 2026, you will see more of that. So I hope the government and NDC wise up to understand and to know where they stand in this whole space. All right? So as I was saying, this very project, the NNP did not start it. They did not do anything where that project was concerned. Also, the Fort George project, that project that's taking place there at Fort George, that project too, the NNP did nothing where that was concerned. We almost lost that money to enhance the fort and to make it a tourist attraction site, and to bring it up to mark to international standard. And you understand the point? So that same water enhancement project, the NNP lost it. The NDC begged for it. They got back at least that Southern Water Enhancement Project. So they got that project, that part. But they didn't get the Western Corridor, road improvement or development or enhancement project. They didn't get that back. No, the NNP lost it. So this morning when she was talking, I say, but if you don't know, you could fall victim to this thing easily. You would believe that this woman just come on the scene and she's genuine. You'd believe that. Easy. She could fool you. And then she spoke about the road and maybe they could have done it differently and they should have done this. But here it is. It's grant money. People, it is grant money. It's free, but if you don't use it within the time frame, they will take it back. And development comes with certain challenges. It comes with a cost. So you can't get it all perfect. So there will be inconvenience and you have to stomach it for a period of time. And I think by February or so, or maybe end of January, either end of January or February, that has to wrap up. And they will be fixing the road entirely, right? I think from the tunnel all the way down to the airport. They'll be fixing the road. Then Grande Tang, I think they started fixing some areas there, but they will be, repaving and resurfacing and so on. and some other parts. There will be Calivini area and so on. And look, I admit the road in the Calivini area is taking too long. But we are seeing movements there now, which is encouraging. I understand a Grenadian engineer joined the team, and we're seeing some movements there. And I am like anybody else, waiting to see the completion of this project is just taking too long, right? But development comes at a cost. It comes at a cost. And Grenadians have to start accepting that. I remember moving from Maryland back to New York, right? And I was on the bus. I left during the nighttime. So when I had to, when we had to navigate to come back to New York, the amount of work that was taking place, it caused me to arrive back in New York about 2 hours later, because the driver had to go to all different routes and just to get to New York, because they were doing so much work on the highways and byways and, so development all around the world, it comes with a cost. And inconvenience is a part of it. So get accustomed to that. I mean, the opposition, they would like to prey on your vulnerability, because a lot of people, they haven't traveled, they haven't experienced that kind of thing. So they believe that the government should just fix everything one time. So while they're doing the project, they need to, fix the road one time and not do all the tests. And then after they fix the road, then do the tests. And then if the pipe not good here, go and dig it up again. And there are people like that. There are people like that. And mind you, folks, there are contractors who are hell-bent on seeing the back of the government. You hear me? Do not forget what happened during the NNP time in Laborie, down to as far as Hopeville. Do not forget the people of Laborie, people of that area, they penalize Gregory Bowen for that particular piece of road. So there are contractors who are dangerous and who have agendas. And they believe by stalling road construction and by, delaying all kinds of stuff, they can cause the public to have a different opinion, a different view of the government. Because this piece of road should have been done long time ago. Trust me. There are some contractors who cannot be trusted. And from day one, I knew that. And I told certain people, I remember I went to my good partner constituency office and I saw a certain individual, right? Saw a certain individual, and that individual is still around. He used to be aligned with Peter and the NDC at a particular time. Then he got cold, and then he came back during the campaign time of the NDC, and he pinpointed certain MPs, right? And I saw the individual, and some people were telling me about his name, and he's from St. Andrew, right? I saw him at my good partner, the Honorable Ron Redhead office. And the minute time I saw that guy there, I had some big question marks. Some big question marks over his head. I remember that. Never. Anytime I see this guy, I see him as a traitor. Every time I see him as a traitor. He's not a guy to be trusted. And they start telling me that he helping them with canvassing and helping them with this and tutus. I heard the NNP start pushing this allegation about the Honorable Andy Williams. And then when I find out the individual was involved in with this whole thing, right? Then I discovered that. I said, but this individual again was involved in it, right? And I know who I'm talking about. This guy can't be trusted. So, and my spirit does tell me straight off the bat, right? When I see certain people who are not genuine, who are not sincere. I remember going by a good friend in Lansepine, right? Genuine man. And I saw a former minister who is his family. And I went there with, a number of Youth for Change members. And by the time I see the young man, I said to them, see that guy? That guy is overambitious. He's overzealous, for want of a better word, and he's above himself. I said he wouldn't last. I remember I told Eon, Django, and a couple of the others who were there. I said, this guy is not, when he started talking and I said, this guy wouldn't last, and tutus. So, I am on the ground. I understand this thing to a T, and I'm not perfect. I am not, I don't know it all, but there's certain things that are so obvious, right? So we have to be very careful, very, very careful. There are certain people I just stay far away from, especially in 2026. We have to be on our P's and Q's in 2026. There are a lot of people who you believe have the stamina, the intestinal fortitude to fight and to continue, and you'll be shocked. I was saying to some friends yesterday, right here by me, it's not easy to fight for a long time. It's not easy to have stamina and continue for a long time. A lot of people want to come on the scene hot and sweaty, right? And they believe that they could, and then tutus, you don't see them, you don't hear about them. It's what it is. You have to get to understand that. All right? You have to understand that. It's because I was giving them an example. NDC stayed in the wilderness for a lot of years, but I never give up. I stayed the course. There were people who came on the scene and you just didn't hear from them or see them after that. A lot of people came on the scene and tried certain things and they just couldn't keep up. So you have to understand, politics is not a sexy thing. Economics too. It could be scary at times and tough, but you have to understand the mission. So 2026 will not be an easy one. It will be politically charged. A lot of misinformation will be out there. A lot of propaganda. It will spread like wildfire. You have to remain focused. You have to know where to get the correct information, factual stuff. You have to know. And the MPs, members of parliament, candidates, caretakers, you too have to be on your P's and Q's, because things will come out, things will be published on you, and if you're weak and reactive, you will be crushed. But if you are astute, if you're strong, if you're proactive, you would kind of get to know about these things in advance and try to put steps in place to protect you and to keep you there. You have to get to understand that. I would love to see in 2026 the NDC MPs, candidates, caretakers, right, doing more in their constituency politically, not just as a member of parliament, right? Not just as a minister of government, but politically, deep politics. So yes, you could be a member of parliament and not be doing the political work. You could be a minister of government and not doing the political work. I would love to see you doing the political work. And when I talk about the political work, I am talking about canvassing, knowing who support you and who doesn't, knowing your numbers in every polling division, knowing your numbers in the constituency, knowing your supporters. I would love to see that. And you taking time to focus on your supporters and those in the middle who are leaning pro-government, who will vote for the government come the next election. Because you will not be able to please everybody. You will not be able to please everybody. But if you can identify your supporters, because there will be a lot of programs, and those programs will be general. So everybody will be benefiting from it. So you have to make sure that your people benefit from those programs. That's politics. And we're about to, well, not about, we're already into the election cycle. So you have to identify your supporters. That's key. That is important. Know your supporters, their needs and their wants. And you know, some MPs or candidates or caretakers, they believe that the supporters need them. That's a fantasy. When the election time comes around, you would see candidates, MP, going door to door, calling on phone, trying all kind of things to get the vote of your supporters or the people. But you could make your work easier all now by knowing your supporters, by building a relationship with your supporters. And don't be arrogant. There's some arrogant MPs. There's some arrogant ministers. Arrogant. They believe that, you know, they're above the fray and that no one could talk to them. They know it all. And when they lose, they put their tail between their legs and they disappear. That's them. Because they believe that they know it. And look, when I speak on this program, I speak because I want good for you. I want the best for you. And feel free, all of you, to reach out. Reach out not only to me, but to people who you think can help you. Because let me tell you one thing. Many a times, the people who you have close to you are your greatest enemies. The people who, many a times, who work close to you in your offices, they might be the ones chasing your supporters and making you lose votes. Their attitude, their customer service, the way they react to certain things, the way they do certain things, they might be the problem. But you can't see it because they're close to you. And that is why I always say I remember Clarice Charles. Because, I used to be up and center and front. In fact, at once I used to run that constituency office and more or less do everything in the constituency in St. John. And Clarice used to say, and I don't really want to quote her word for word, but she used to use words to the effect that sometimes you have to say to your workers, stay back. I don't want you to come with me in this house today. I will go for myself. All right? I will go for myself. And I'll speak to the electorate. I'll speak to the constituents. I'll go for I don't want you to come with me. Right? And look, we good, but I want you to come with me today. You hear me? Because many a times, these are the people who are causing the problem. And some people don't want them in their damn house or in their yard. You see? So that's one thing. There are a lot of things I learned from Clarice Charles. A lot of things I learned from her in the politics. But that is key. Sometimes you got to go alone and sit with that person and listen to that person. Sometimes you have to go with friends. Sometimes you have to get a person who is friends with that person to go with you. Sometimes. But this year is a year of charged political activity. Charged political activity. And for the MPs who believe that a ministry going to get them victory, I want you to take that out of your head. Take it out of your head. You have to go down on the ground and identify your supporters. Stop wasting time in these ministries. Go in the field. Go in your constituency. That's where the battle lies. That's where you have to be. In your constituency. More. Because many a times the ministries, they're run by the PS. Yes, you have to stay on top of things, but many a times it's run by the PS and senior management in the ministries. So go in your constituency, engage your constituents. Find out who support you and who do not. And how can you win those who don't support you too? But don't abandon those who support you. The most foolish thing that any politician vying for office who wants to win can do is to, and I'm using this glass of water as an example. The most dotish thing a politician can do is to try to fool this glass, right? I'm talking about their supporters. So this is the amount of supporters that they have. They fail to identify them and to understand their needs and wants and to make them comfortable and to make them happy, right? But they're trying to fool the glass by going and trying to persuade the NNP or what is Peter Party again? Whatever the name of the party, Posey, right? So they're trying to persuade NNP to come on their side. And they forget their people. So this water is going down, right? It was a while ago up here. It started going down, right? Because you're not focused on your people. Because remember, your people, they would have people who are going to turn 18 and could vote. They would have family members who going to, change and follow the government. They may like or love the prime minister or a certain minister, what they did for them or what they're doing in the area. So they may change. But if you don't concentrate on that half, your supporters, right? Identifying their needs and wants and reaching out to them, then that number will going to go down. Yes, you're trying to fool the cup. You're trying to fool it. And mind you, don't try to fool it, because you're not going to get everybody on your side. But you're trying to fool the cup. So you're not treating your supporters the way you're supposed to treat them. Then what do you find going to happen? What do you expect going to happen? They become bitter. They become upset. They become angry. They become, So you have to identify your supporters who are here first, understand their needs and wants, know their children, and those who turn 18, make sure that they get registered. Those with family members who come in and out of the country, make sure that they get registered. So you add to your numbers, and then you can target those who are in the middle and those who kind of wavering, who want to. You understand the point? I was on the Carenage. I went by Allison, right? And I saw a gentleman who was doing the beautification of the Carenage. And I know the gentleman well. He doesn't have good things to say about the NDC and about the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell. He was affiliated or associated with the revolution, as they say, and he's a good friend of Peter. But I saw this guy putting up these colorful things for independence. And I will find out, because I want to know who gave this guy this job. I have no problem with a person getting a work here. Nothing wrong with that. But I want to know what is behind him getting that work or that contract or that job. Who gave him? Was it the celebrations committee? Was it the cultural, what do you call them? The Grenada Cultural Foundation or something? Who gave them that? Who gave him that? I was like, okay, because you see, these little things says a lot. These little things. And I mean, the guy, he watched me about 5 times. About 5 times. And he was saying, by Kim Jones, all you could do all you want. Look, I'm still getting big work. I'm still getting this and that. You see the point? These little things. I don't know if it was from my good friend's office in the tongue of St. George. I don't know if it's from Peter's office or it's from Claudette's office. I don't know. Or if it was from the Grenada Cultural Foundation or Celebrations. I don't know. But once you're putting up these things, and it's a contract given by an arm of government. But these little things could demotivate people, especially your supporters. Little things like that. And I was like, so I am saying 2026 must be different. 2026 must be different. You have to identify your supporters in every constituency. That's important. And there are some supporters who are not happy with you. You need to go to them still. Apologize. Apologize. And try to get that relationship going again. Seek out. You may not be able to go in that house with your heads up high, but seek a person who can go with you, who knows the person very well, who is friends with the person, who can persuade the person or family to come back on board. You have the power of the purse. You can do things to make that person or family happy. That's key. That's important. Seek out, reach out. Know your supporters. How do you get to know? Is by you going in that constituency, going in that community, going in that house, going to a funeral. In fact, I said to our beloved Prime Minister, every funeral I go to in St. David, I see you. And there are funerals of NDC supporters that I would go to in St. Andrew, St. Patrick, St. John, and I would see the Prime Minister or Uncle Tilly. And he said, Kim Jones, I've seen you too, you know. Because I understand this thing to a T. I may not be able to go to every funeral, but you have to show up in those funerals. That's where you meet people and you shake hands, interact. Don't go there isolated. That's important. I saw our beloved Prime Minister. He was in a funeral only recently. As recent as what? Thursday, Friday. Right? Was it Thursday, Friday? Today is Monday. Friday. No, not Friday gone. So I think it's Thursday. No, Wednesday or Thursday. Somewhere around there. Right? And right. So when? Because the Honorable Ron Redhead and the Honorable Tevin Andrews visited me. Right? They were here. And that's something I have to speak about. You know, amazingly, the only MPs who reached out over the holidays. You know, I am out here fighting the fight for the NDC and for all the MPs. But the only MPs that reached out over the holidays or visited me was, well, the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell, the Honorable Tevin Andrews, the Honorable Ron Redhead, the Honorable Andy Williams, and Senator the Honorable Persuader Thomas. Do you hear me? These are the 5 people in all of those MPs out there. And mind you, I'm not looking for them to call or message or visit. I'm not looking for that. But in the world of politics, these little things count and go a long, long way, especially if you have a person like Kim Jones who is out here fighting that good fight, who is out here fighting for you to make sure that you win and to make sure that your constituents get the message. Very important. And these things are noted. I note these things very small because I'm not looking for anything from these folks, right? I want them to succeed. I want all of them to succeed. But that is important. Very, very important. So I was saying, going back to the message, that at that funeral, our beloved Prime Minister, I saw him, he shook hands. And it's a lot of people. It's a big funeral. It was a big funeral, right? And he shook the hands of people after he came from the church. He shook the hands of the people on both sides, come all the way down to the entrance, you know, like at the end of the road. I'm telling you, it's amazing. It's amazing, folks. And then he went to the cemetery. And again, he engaged. It's just different. But that is what has to happen. You get to meet people. They might tell you certain things. You get to know what's going down. That's important in politics. Very, very important. So I'm saying 2026 has to be different. Uniquely different. Where you reconnect with your constituents. You reconnect with your supporters. You reach out to them. That is key. Very, very important. Because to fill the glass, you already have. Who you already have, try to keep them. So you must know them, identify them, yes. Go out there, knock on their doors, reach out, know their needs and their wants. And then you can start adding to it. Because remember, you won. You win those constituencies. And if you didn't win, you didn't lose by much. You didn't lose by much. So I'm saying this is key in going forward. There are some MPs, some candidates or caretakers who believe that our beloved Prime Minister going to get them over the line. They believe that. So some of them lackey, some of them not doing what they're supposed to do. Okay. I'm saying to you, you got to help him. You got to help us and help the party by doing work, by getting on the ground, by connecting with your supporters, by getting to know them, and by making sure that you have the numbers in the bag. That's what it is. He's popular, he's viable, he's working, he's liked, he's loved, he's what Grenada wants. But you have to help him in those different constituencies. It is important, people. Very important. So I thought I should say those things as we begin 2026, because it will be an action-packed year. It's politics, politics, politics. And I don't want to have to come on the program in going forward to speak to you and tell you, well, go on the ground, engage your constituents, get to know who support you and who don't, get to know how many people, again, you need in terms of the total you need to win, build a relationship with them, improve your PR, get a good PR person with you, capture the moments, just as the Honorable Tevin Andrews will do, just as the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell will do, right? I don't have to tell you that, or the Honorable Andy Williams and so on, right? Capture the moments professionally, do little videos, do little reels. Photos alone wouldn't do it. The days of photos, that's back then. Now it's reels, little videos, summarizing what you're doing. Put it up on your page, because in the morning, when I drink my coffee, I check all the MPs' page, all the caretakers. I check the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell's page, Facebook page. I check, well, I mean, every time he's posting stuff, right? He has resources that you know. I check the Honorable Andy Williams, the Honorable Tevin Andrews, the Honorable Ron Redhead, the Honorable Gloria Thomas, the Honorable Delma Thomas, the Honorable Adrian Thomas, the Honorable Joseph Andel, the Honorable Dennis Cornwell, the Honorable David Andrew, the Honorable Philip Tellisford, the Honorable, all of them, the Honorable Lennox Andrews, all of them, right? Dr. Tessa Sincere page, and I have been saying to her, you need to put your name there instead of Taylor Made and so on, your name, all right? Dr. Tessa Sincere, your name, instead of just, Taylor Made and all kind of stuff, because you're the image, right? I would check another Quince Britton, the Honorable Quince Britton. I'm saying I would do that. I don't have to do it, but I do it every morning. I check all their pages to see what they have on, what they're posting, what they're putting up, and how I can use the materials that they put up to advance it, to promote it. That's what I do. I check GIS page, so I know when they're not posting stuff or when they just, abandon what they're supposed to do. I check all of GBN, check MTV, I check the NNP page, right? I check Uh, all of them, all those talk show hosts, I do those things because I want to be on top of my game. This is not me just coming up with a mic and yap, yap, yap. Mentally, I have to prepare myself. It's not easy. And who know me will tell you, it is not easy to mentally organize this program on a mornings, every morning, or every night. It's not easy, right? But I do it. I stay on top of my game. I can tell you what was discussed this morning on the Play Your Cause. I can tell you what was discussed on GBN. I can tell you they had Peter Wickham on. I can tell you all of these things. I can tell you all of these things because I'm on top. I'm not like some of those MPs. Some of them, they could care less. Not me. Nope. Not Kem Jones. I'm in this thing, hook, line, and sinker. So I don't want to have to come on and tell you to do this, tell you to do that. And no. Nope. You have to do your work. You have to get your work done. I don't believe that I'm the enemy because I'm frank. Because let me tell you this, my first duty to the people, this program and will continue with the people at the center of it. I will forever defend and promote the people, the NDC people, supporters, the folks who are in the middle too. That's what I will do. Because this program is a people-centered program. Because when NDC was not in power, the program still existed with the help of people. Ordinary people continue to give to the program every month. The little that they have, I don't depend on sponsorship and having sponsors and so on. The people give. So I am not going to abandon the people for somebody or some organization. No. Nope. This program will remain a people-centered program with a difference. And I maintain that. I will defend and promote the NDC. I will defend and promote the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell. Always, I will, because he's good for Grenada. Carriacou, PT Martinique. All right? And Murray, you might be late on the program. All right? Murray, you might be late on the program. So maybe you didn't hear what I said. In 2026, no one will use this program to promote other stations. No one. I don't care. Once you come on the platform and you post that this person will be on that platform, this person will be on that person, I don't care who the person is. I'm telling you, I'm going to block you. Because the other platforms will not use their platform to promote my program. You hear me? Because they see my program as a NDC program, as a pro-government program. They're not going to use my program to do that. So don't come on this platform and promote any. It could be GBN, it could be MTV, it could be WFM, it could be what. Don't come on this program and promote it. Let them use their program to promote whatever they have on their program. You hear me? I don't care who you are. I don't care where you're from. Do not use this program to promote other stations. Good? I will forever defend and promote the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell once it's NDC thing, a government thing. You hear me? Those stations, they will not promote this station or this program. They will not promote Vibes FM. They will not promote this program, the Dynamic or the Hub. They will not do that. Nope. Don't fool yourself. So don't come on this program so they could get more likes and they could get more viewership and they could get more people. No, that's what they want on their program, to get more likes, more viewership, and more people on their program. They would love that. And again, tonight I'm having my program as normal, the Hub. 2026 is a more serious political year. And you have to build your audience, you have to build your base, you have to build your listenership. And keep that. That's important. Very important. So, folks, again, I'm happy to be back. We have a lot to accomplish together. A lot to accomplish together. We have a lot of political work to do. Our government is performing well, exceptionally so. And we want them to continue on that path. But we want to see our MPs or members of parliament doing what they're supposed to do in their constituency, doing the political work, finding time every week to do the political work, to build relationships, to go back and say that they are sorry to some of the supporters and constituents, apologize, and build relationships with them, find out their needs and wants, do the proper canvassing and campaigning. That's the time to do it. Because if you don't, when it comes closer to the election, the team will change. You see, some people believe because they win a seat that they will be the candidate next election. Joke you're making? That's a big laugh. You have to prove yourself. You have to prove that you're winnable, that you're viable, and that you could win the thing. If not, then you're making a big joke. Not because you win your seat, you're entitled to run again. No. Look at St. Lucia. Even here in Grenada, during Keith Mitchell time, every election cycle, you see change 5 persons, 5 MPs, people win their seats. He changed them. He changed them. Yep. Change them and you put people who could win because you want to win to get into government. All right? But you have to work. You have to prove that you could win. Don't believe that you will just get an automatic entrance so you will run again. And no, you have to prove yourself. That's important. And people know who could win and who cannot win. But you have enough time to improve and to do more. And yes, our most honorable Deacon Mitchell, he will help all the candidates, all the people. He will help them to cross the line. But they must be able to get, you remember when I spoke the last election about personal votes, that the person who's running should be able to get personal votes. And I hold that firm. You cannot get a person or put a person to run and all the person depend on is the most honorable Deacon Mitchell to get them to win, or the NDC supporters who are already there. You hear me? If that is the case, then they could put anybody to run and they're going to win. They're not going to put you. So you have to bring with it support. You have to show that you can win and that you have this amount of people on your side. Personal support. That's key. It's not that, well, I win already. You won, and many of you won, and you don't even know how you win. There are a lot of MPs who won their seats, and they don't even know how they won their seats. They're still in awe. They're shocked. And thanks to the most honorable Deacon Mitchell, that they won. Not because they go and they work hard, and they do this and they do that. Thanks to him and a number of other people, that they won their seats. So if you didn't know how you win, you have to find out. Find out how you win. And go on the ground, identify the people who support you and who support the government and who support the most honorable Deacon Mitchell. Find out and start counting the numbers. And if you realize that you, out of 5,000 registered voters, you realize you have 2,550 or 2,600, then you know you're in a good position. And not only you just saying you have 2,600, we must be able to verify it. So the party must be able to verify that, yes, indeed, he has or she has 2,600. Right? I'm telling you, you have to be able to verify it. Because some people could, you want to run, you just come and say, well, 2,600 people. But where are the people? Who? Where are the names? The phone numbers? The place of work? I want to know if I'm running, right? I'm not in frontline politics, but if I'm running, I want to know who are my supporters, their phone numbers, their date of birth. When they come, I should be the first person to bring them a card. I may not be able to bring them a big cake like the Honorable Tevin Andrews doing in Karaku and PT Martinique, or a basket of all kinds of stuff, but bring them a card, right? Wishing them all the best. I might be able to do that. Or maybe something more. But I must know their birth date, and I must also know their children. So when they turn 18, I should be the first to be there at their birthday event, or if they don't have one, bring a card and bring them to register so that they can vote. So my numbers go up. And when they have visitors from the diaspora, Grenadians, I should be the first to be invited because I want to persuade them and convince them to register too. I need to build a relationship with that person to get all of that. So I must know who are my supporters. And I must know how many out of the 5,000 or 4,000 are actually my supporters and who are in the middle, who I might need to get somebody to help me to persuade them and reach out to them, and maybe I need to identify their needs or their wants. How can I reach out? That's key. That's important. That's very important. And you need to create a database, a simple database. In every polling division, you know how much people support you there. Simple database. They must be registered. You verify that. The name, the age, the children, the phone number. You want to know where they walk into, because on election day, if you ain't see them go up, you have to go and pick them up and they walk, Yeah, that's important. Important. So I'm saying, folks, that is what the politics dictates or dictate in 2026 into 2027. And you have to reach out. You have to reach out and connect. Don't believe that you're all that. I have seen ministers of government who thought they were so popular and so liked. I've seen them lost their seat and crying. I've seen those who work hard, knock on doors, engage people, listen to people who are not too big to apologize, say, I'm sorry, let's work together. How can I help? How can we team our community to build our polling division, to transform our constituency with good PR behind them? I've seen them win elections. When people say, well, they can't win, they win. So it pays off. It is a numbers game. Remember, it is a numbers game. And the numbers don't lie. It's simple like that. The numbers don't lie. You have to engage your constituents. The ministries, they're all cool. You're this big minister with jacket and tie, and look at how the most honorable Deacon Mitchell is dressed sometimes. Simple. He will roll up his sleeve, right? Just roll up his sleeve and go in the field. That's how the most honorable Deacon Mitchell operates. He'll just roll up his sleeve, people, and go in the field and engage and knock on doors and listen to people and seek to help people. That's the same thing that has to happen for all the constituencies. Every one of them. That's what it has to be. In 2026, it has to be different. And don't, not because a person speak in this way. Don't see them as enemy. Reach out, connect. Reach out and connect. That's simple. You can't do it all by yourself. And many of you are new to the politics. You're a novice. You're new to it. I have been around a good while in the politics. Yep. I've been around in the politics a good while. And I've seen people win and I've seen people lose. But those who win are the people who work, the people who get down on the ground and do the work. Not just going on the ground for going on the ground's sake, but do the work. Polling division by polling division. House by house. Vote by vote. And what makes it nice, we're in power. As a result, you have the public purse. So you could build a piece of road for people. You could build a piece of drain for people. You could help somebody with some windows and doors. You could help some people with some material, some steel, some cement. You could put somebody into a program. You could help a farmer. You could do things for people because you're in government. That makes it easier. I remember a politician say, but how a person could win their seat and lose it? And I think the person's absolutely right. Hello? Hello? I'm fine, thanks, but you can't call me now. I'm on my program. All right? Nice. No problem. No problem. Yes. So I'm saying, I remember that statement was made. And that's a true statement. How a person could win their seat and a party form the government and they're still losing? How? How's that possible? Have you ever wondered? That person really had to mess up, They really had to mess up the whole thing. So 2026, I'm excited about it. And I look forward to serving you. What I am most excited about is that we will have a new studio that will be belonging to us, we the people. Yes, my name is on it, the land. Yes, the property, I would own it, but it's the people's property, ultimately. So that I'm excited about too, where we would have a modern studio. All right. So that's coming. We are not quite there yet, but we are way advanced. We completed the first phase was to purchase the land. I purchased the land. The second phase was to excavate. I excavated to make sure, because it's not flat lands, it's somewhat on a grade. I excavated. And the third phase was to do the foundation. We did the foundation, completed the foundation. The fourth phase was to do the columns, the walls, right? So all the walls, if you know about a concrete building, right? So that was complete. In fact, that was completed about a week or so ago. So that was completed. And the next phase would be to deck off, to do the formwork, the board to deck off, and the steel, and then the actual concrete to deck off the building. as the next phase to deck off the building, right? That would take some resources, all right? And construction is very expensive. That would take some resources, right? But we hope to complete that in the early part of this year. And then, you do the plastering, complete the electrical work, because the electrical work is already there, complete that and the plumbing, and then you retrofit it with the furniture, with the new cameras, modern cameras, the control room, and everything that is required, right? So that would be the last phase. But for now, we are well advanced and cost some money, all right? In fact, because I'm the person who check every cent, we actually spent $183,000 already from land to this phase. 100 with contributions from so many people, because I'm a very prudent person with finance. We've already spent $183,000 with the resources raised from the independence event, come all the way up from the resources raised in New York when I went there for the 2 events, right? Forget about the first one, right? We are right there, and the building, it's a 30 by 40 building. It's a fairly big building, all right? It's a fairly big building with potential to go up over time. So I'm quite excited about that. And there are a lot of people who yap and want to know people's business, right? They just want to know, and some of them not giving a damn cent towards anything, but they just fast. They want to know, and they want to know. Yeah, people like that. But who cares? At the end of the day, there are good people out there who continue to give towards this project, who continue to support what I do. And I'm thankful, and I'm eternally grateful to you. And I know you by name, I know you by face. A lot of people who listen, who follow the program, and they don't give up. Nothing. Well, Kem just away hearing you, Kem just away and seeing you. Like what? You see? So I'm really eternally grateful to you. We're getting there. And people who know me, I'm very determined. If I set my goal or goals, I would achieve it. All right? So we're getting there, step by step. We're getting there. So we're at that phase where we have to do the formwork as a boardwork. Steel, very expensive. Labor, very expensive. And then you have to get the concrete, that, and then just do the internal works. So this year, definitely, very early this year, we should be right there. Let's work towards it. All right? Let's work towards it. Step by step. It has to become the real war room, because it's big, it's vast enough to become the real war room for the next election. All right? Yes. So, folks, I want to wish you all the best. We gone a little over, well, not a little over, 35 minutes over the time. I want to wish you all the best. And for folks who don't know, I became a mason by force, by circumstances. A mason, a carpenter. And people who came by and they saw, they know I'm a person who's very determined to get this thing done. Right? Nice. So I want to, again, wish you all the best. Have a wonderful day. I will be back tonight in the hub. We have a lot to accomplish in going forward, step by step by step.